we're going to go over how to correct a rubbing brake. It's a really simple process. The first thing you're going to do, just go ahead and spin the wheel and listen for the rub. On this one, as opposed to a periodic rub that hits in the same spot on a rotation, this one's really consistent, so it's rubbing the whole way around. What that means for us is we're going to need to adjust the brake caliper left or right to center the rotor within the brake pads. We're going to need to loosen the caliper on the fork. With this bike, we're going to use a T25. A lot of bikes, it's really common to have a 5mm Allen wrench. And so right here, I'm just taking it about 3/4 of a turn loose. That gives us enough freedom for the brake to sit on there and be able to wiggle around, and that will help us set it in place. Pull the brake and keep pressure on the brake, and then I'll tighten it back on. Check it. We're a lot better than we were before. We still have a small rub. It's only hitting in one spot. Find where that is. And so you pinpoint it. I know it rubs right there every time. So go ahead and remember that spot, bring it down to the bottom, and instead of adjusting your brake caliper, you can actually bend the rotor to correct for it. So I brace my hand against the fork and then go ahead and pull on that one isolated spot that we found where it was rubbing. When you don't have any pressure on the brake, you should see space on either side of the rotor between the pads. Anytime you are making adjustments to your brakes, when you're finished up, be sure to check the bolts, both on the brake caliper and on the lever as well. You want to make sure those are snug before any ride. In summary, when you're bending a rotor, it's important to remember that a little bit goes a long ways. You don't need to put too much pressure on it, otherwise you'll bend it so it's rubbing on the other side. If you do have a continuous rub, you will need to try and center the caliper around the rotor, so you'll need a tool to do that, usually just an Allen wrench. That's it. That's all we have today for how to correct a rubbing brake. Thanks for watching.